Who or what you're grateful for, and a very good morning to Reverend Sophie. Morning, Sophie.
Morning. It's lovely to be here. I'm still missing my sidekick though. Bless him.
Oh,
I know.
I
And
know.
any updates? Is he? How's he getting on?
He's getting better. He is getting better. He's okay, but I need to go and see him again, really. But yeah, at last I heard he was getting better, and it's just a case of giving himself some time, really. I think it's been a bit of a shock to the system. So yeah,
time is always a great thing when you've been under the weather, and things do take time.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah.
How's your week been?
I've had an incredible week. I mean, it's only Tuesday, but in the last week, it's been incredible. So I went to see Oasis on Friday night, if you hadn't heard.
Oh, yes. How was it?
They've reformed.
They've reformed.
Oh my goodness. Well, how was it?
I would like to guess, but they have reformed. Yeah, that was really, really, really incredible. So I'm 43 years old, and that was the first concert I'd ever been to.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to lots of orchestras and classical stuff, but I'd never been to a pop, what I would call popular music type.
Well, that sounds like something to be grateful for. How was the whole experience? Talk us through it, Reverend Sophie.
Well, I was a little bit, to be honest, I think if I'd not been with a friend, I think I would have been a little bit nervous because there was that's a lot of people. I mean, I think there were must have been about 50,000 people, I guess. I mean, Principality Stadium takes 75,000, is it?
It takes 90 at its full capacity.
90? In that case, maybe more.
But with the stage there taking out one of the wings, then it is less. So yeah, you're not far off between your 40 and your 50, maybe even 60,000 people in there.
Yeah, I reckon. So that was a lot of people. And when I was doing a bit of research for the show on Sunday, and I read that the Nebworth concert back in 1996 or whenever it was, 250,000 people. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And then I thought about it afterwards, and I thought there are only 18,000 people living in the whole of Haverfordwest.
Yeah,
that is incredible, absolutely incredible. Anyway, so yes, it was. So I felt a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious. There was quite a lot of waiting around. So the gates opened at 5:00. And then we sat. The first act, which was Cast, didn't come on until 6:00.
Okay.
And they were only on for like half an hour, and then there was a big break whilst the next person came on, whose actual name I can't remember, but I think
Richard Ashcroft.
That's the one. That's the one. But was that the Verve?
It is the Verve, yes.
It's the Verve originally, right? So I'm guessing they're not using that name at the moment because they've also disbanded.
Probably.
There's a theme here. It wasn't the whole of the original band, so they couldn't use, but they used some of the Verve's music, which is where I recognized it because I did like some of the Verve's music when I was a kid. So, but I'm old. I'm at the right age where Oasis and the Verve were really, really big when I was listening to music. So it was quite exciting. I would have liked to have spoken to Liam and Noel though, because I'd like to ask Liam particularly why he insisted on being quite so rude when I ran into him in Harrods.
Yes.
So it was probably about 10, 15 years ago, and I had my kids, littlies, and I was in Harrods with them. We were on a London trip, and I literally was chasing around after one of my kids in Harrods and actually physically ran into this person.
Oh gosh!
And I looked up, and he's got an anorak and a bucket on.
Oh, just like and in all the pictures you see of him.
He's trying desperately to avoid attention. I'm like, if you're trying to avoid attention, mate, you are wearing the wrong things. You'd been better off wearing a shirt and tie. No one would have picked up on that.
That's true.
So I literally ran into the guy. And And so I would like to have asked him why he felt the need to be quite so rude at the time, but I didn't.
In the
Did
middle
you
of
enjoy the music and the concert then once they started up?
It was phenomenal. Okay,
Yeah.
so regardless of their etiquette and their ability to not be so shirty, they performed well. I mean, you could the graphics that they used in the background was amazing. I don't suppose if I'd gone to a concert 20 years ago, the graphics would have been quite so phenomenal. In fact, I think someone was telling me the other day that they were surprised at how much things had changed themselves. So, and how much that kind of whole staging and background stuff had come on. So I was quite taken by that. It really was incredible how they did that. The music was great. But you could see as like there's this kind of eye rolling going on between one and the other, and I'm like, they are so not going to be talking by the end of this tour.
Oh no!
So I was like, oh,
it was
my
great
word.
that you were in there early then.
Yeah. So apparently people are putting bets on as to whether whether or not they'll make it to the end of the tour.
Well, famously, of course, they split up with 3 dates remaining of their last tour.
Right. Okay.
So that was part of the uproar, is that they couldn't even get to the end of the last tour. They only had 3 dates left, and they're like, no, we're not finishing. We are breaking up. 16 years ago that was, and they finally got back together in the centre of Cardiff. And you're saying about the animations and the stage setting there and how far concerts have come. That was actually quite a basic set compared to what you can see.
Really?
Yeah. That was all digital and video. But yeah, some of the sets are magnificent.
I clearly need you, Tom, to tell me which gigs I need to go to, because I need some education.
Were you stood up or were you sat down?
I was sat down.
You were sat down. Lovely. What you need to go to is a smaller, intimate arena, as opposed to a massive stadium, because the artists, they're like, they feel like they're an arm's distance of you. The stadium's great, but you're so far away.
Yeah. I did feel there was one person that Liam kind of pointed at during the show and told her how beautiful she looked. Well, I'm assuming it was a woman. He didn't actually reference, but I'm assuming he just picked this girl out and told her how gorgeous she looked. And I'm like, she was probably only 20. How old are these guys now? If they were performing when I was in my 20s, how old are they now?
That's a very good point. What were some of the fan reactions like? Because for some people, going to live music is a bit like a pilgrimage. They get to enjoy and they get to relive their youth and they get to reminisce. And going to that stadium with the wonderful lights and the sounds and that live act. Give us a sense of the atmosphere that was there.
I did. It's interesting you used the word pilgrimage, because I did think to myself, actually, there's something of ritual and there's something of worship here that you probably would. I mean, if you went to any big mega church, you would probably see something very similar. Obviously, the plan with a big mega church, though, is that you're worshipping God, not worshipping Noel and Liam Gallagher. That's the plan, anyway. And as Noel and Liam Gallagher have pointed out, that humanity is quite good at not getting on with each other, whereas God's much better at doing the whole love thing. But it was very pilgrimage-like. It was a definite kind of trek. I had my little backpack with my sweets and stuff on to get to Cardiff, and then we walked from our friend's flat to the Principality Stadium, stopping off at various pubs on the way.
Of course.
The confessions come out now. So it did feel quite pilgrimage-like. I think for me personally, I don't think I would necessarily make an effort to go to an Oasis concert again. I think because you know how it is. You listen to songs when you're younger, and you'll think it's all it, and you hold on to the favourites, Wonderwall and Rock and Roll Star and all of those favourite, and Champagne Supernova, and you hold on to all those favourite ones, but you kind of forget about the other ones that weren't quite so popular. So the popular ones really only came in towards the end. So by 10:30, when the popular ones actually came on,
you were too tired and
I
sleeping.
was too tired to care. That's like just,
I love that.
It's kind of, and also it's a nostalgia thing, is it? You think something is going to be the same as it was when you were younger, but inevitably it never is really as good as it used to be.
Yeah,
And that's why we need to. That's why we've got to make new memories every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think looking back, I'm sure that's probably one of their lyrics somewhere. Don't look back in anger. Just don't look back. Just don't look back. Do you know there's a story in the Bible about Lot's wife, and they are escaping the destruction of where they've come from, and they're told by God not to look back, just to keep going, because what was before had been destroyed. And she looked back and she turned into a pillar of salt.
Oh.
So I don't think she actually turned into a pillar of salt. I think that's a metaphor for something else. But I think there's this idea that actually there's nothing good in looking back.
So keep looking forward, and that's what Jimmy's inviting you to do. Welcome to come to the Super Gene gig with the Blims this Saturday, 12th of July, over in Narberth. That's a small concert venue for you to
that sounds exciting.
Yeah, to keep your live music education going. So that's something to look forward to. You'll find details of that over on our website, and also you catch up with Jimmy on the 2-hour takeover. Food is the theme of this upcoming show, which is amazing. Sophie, thank you so much for joining us this morning, giving us your reflections on your pilgrimage to the Principality Stadium. Never been to a concert before. I know. I'll go to one of the biggest ones of the year, maybe even the decade. Excellent. Thank you so much. How's the rest of your Tuesday looking?
Do you know, I'm actually taking the rest of today off, although I do have a meeting with a wedding couple this evening, because I shan't be able to have Friday off, which is my normal day. So I'm taking today, and I'm putting together bags of clothes, because Walton East Church are collecting bags of clothes and sending them off to a charity who takes them. And so I'm busy doing that today. So I'm not really having a day off.
No.
Bits and pieces. And then what was your favourite song from the concert?
Oh, now you're asking.
I am.
Let's go with a bit of Champagne Supernova, shall we? I didn't put that on.
Yeah, I was going to say there was only a choice of 3, because there was only 3 that you like.
Wasn't quite that bad, but
right, we're gonna. Oh God, it's nice and long, isn't it?
It's a long song, and that is. I was thinking, good luck with that one.
Fabulous. Well, we'll see what we can do with that one coming
up
next.
8 minutes, I think, isn't it?
Sophie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Your What's-Ons with the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park are up next here on Purist Radio. It's 20 minutes past 9 o'clock. Unscramble around the corner.
Yes. Oh, my goodness me. You've got 10 minutes to get involved. Head over to our Facebook page right now.
Get your annual pass today for unlimited all-year-round fun and adventure at Folly Farm.